So I'm going to do that part again. I'm just going to apply a blend to this. I'm going to go to mesh display and soften the edges so it's nice and smooth, and I'm going to go on to the blend here, and I'm going to apply I'm going to set this to tangent space normals, and then I'm just going to go into the file, and I'm going to load up the texture. You can call it normal map, make sure you export it with the appropriate naming. And if I load that up, and if I change my settings to hit number 6 on the keyboard, you'll see that the normal map loads up. But there's a massive seam running across here. Now there's a way that you can fix this. This is only to do with how Viewport 2 handles this. For instance, if I was to go into the renderer here and change this to legacy high quality, you can see that is the normal map that is projecting the low poly detail onto that model. There is no seam onto this, so that detail that we had on the high res is actually being projected onto the low poly version there. So that's how it extracts that. But if you want to carry on using Viewport 2.0, that's the newer Viewport, and it's actually really good with other sort of stuff. It functions well with all the rendering and all the other materials. There's a way to fix this. So if I hit this and go into this settings here and change the color space to raw, and hit ignore color space file rules and hit reload on this. If that doesn't work, just go in again and load up the file, and that should then fix that. So that normal map is actually still there. So you can see the detail, all that detail that we had in ZBrush is actually being projected through this onto the actual model. Now what I'm going to do is also load up the texture and hit file and just go over onto the diffuse and open that, and then you can see that's the model with that texture. Of course you would have to have a spec map on this, for instance, just to make sure that everything's not as shiny, like the head and the hair. You might have a bit of shine in the forehead, but that's a way to get your detail across. Now if I look at that through the high legacy high quality, you can see that it shows the normal maps a bit better, so how they're projected onto that. You can see all that detail that we created in ZBrush is still there, but now our low poly version of the model is also there, and you can see the high res detail being projected across. So that kind of creates that's what you need to do in terms of having your low poly and high res poly version of models. Of course, keep your high res models, you can do really good renders with them as well, make sure you do, but this is how to kind of bridge the gap between the two models. So you can